Hey guys, thanks for joining us here at Salty Ginger Talk. If you're a returning listener, it is great to have you back. If you're new to the channel, we're really glad you joined us. We hope you like what you hear. So, our podcast is for people that want to learn something new or make themselves a little bit better every day. So, we've done a couple of episodes like the one we're doing today before. They were well received, haven't done one in a while. And so, we're going to cover 15 words or phrases that originated in other countries, but we still use pretty regularly in the United States. So we find this interesting because it shows, I think, several things. One, kind of the cross pollination that happens in the United States. And it's one of the things that's always made our country great, is that people come from all over the world to come to the United States, but they generally assimilate to several basic culture things in the United States. Hard work. That if you work hard, you can get ahead. It's one of the few countries in the world where you have a lot of mobility up and down the economic ladder based on how well you do in the marketplace. But by the same token, when you look around just in our society, all of the cross pollination that happens in our society. So, how many different types of food do you eat in a 6 month period? There's all sorts of different Asian foods, whether it's Vietnamese food, whether it's American Chinese food, whether it's Chinese food, whether it's Japanese food, Indian food. You've got all sorts of Hispanic cultures as well. There's Puerto Rican food, there's Mexican food, there's Spanish food. My wife and I went to a Spanish restaurant last year in Florida, and it was awesome. And then you've got German food, all sorts of stuff, right? And so we've got all of these cultures that kind of mix in our world. And I think it's fun to stop and look at, hey, pick something that came from another culture that we've really made kind of mainstream in our culture. And so that's what we're doing with these words and phrases today. We found it interesting. Hope you do too. Wanted to share them with you. If worse comes to worse, you've got an interesting anecdote for at a cocktail party or as an icebreaker to start talking to someone. And maybe you've never heard some of these phrases before and you can use them and it kind of expands your mind. And so, yeah, we think it'll be fun. So that's what we're going to do. So, first phrase, deja vu. So, what deja vu means, it's French. I think it's pretty clear that it's French. But deja vu in French means already seen. And it's used to describe a feeling of familiarity. I walked into the new coffee shop and felt deja vu. Had I been there before? Funny anecdote on this for those of you that love 80s movies like we do. There was a movie in the 80s called Top Secret, and it was a spoof on spy comedies. And it stars Val Kilmer as the main character. And he is an American pop singer that's in Germany during World War II and winds up getting hooked up with the French resistance, the French underground. And as they go around introducing themselves the first time he meets them, the last character he meets is called Deja Vu. And he introduces himself and says, I am Deja Vu. Have we not met before? it's a pretty good one. So we like that cheesy, corny stuff. We love 80s movies. If you get a chance, Top Secret, it's worth your time. It's a good movie. There's a lot of funny stuff in there. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, RSVP, Respondez-vous s'il vous plaît. So that means please respond. That's what it means in French. And so we use RSVP for weddings, for parties, for engagements. Instead of saying, hey, let me know if you're going to come, we always send and ask for an RSVP. So that's where it comes from. Don't forget to RSVP to Jenna's wedding. It's on the invite. So we got to know how many people there. Do you want chicken or fish? Are you going to do the chicken dance? Are you going to get too drunk and we have to kick you out? So RSVP comes from the French. So that was one we knew, but thought it was worth including because it hadn't seen. We find it interesting. So, number three, kindergarten. Kindergarten originates from the German language, and kindergarten in German means children's garden, introduced by Friedrich Froebel in Germany. So, Germany introduced or invented, if you want to say it a different way, kindergarten, children's garden. So, kids too young for grade school, but to start them in school, you put them in children's garden. I remember crying on my first day of kindergarten, but now it's a sweet memory. I did not cry on my first day of kindergarten. I was very excited to go to kindergarten, couldn't wait. Number 4 is tsunami. Tsunami is derived from the Japanese words su, which means harbor in Japanese, and nami, which means wave. So tsunami is a harbor wave. The big wave that comes up and knocks everything down, but it's the harbor wave. So, used in a sentence, the documentary explained how the 2004 tsunami impacted millions in Southeast Asia, which is true, it did. And there was one in 2011 in Japan that was pretty serious as well. But tsunami, harbor, wave. So thought that was worth knowing. Number 5, a la carte from French. The French word for means on the card, ordering individual menu items that are on the card. We decided to order a la carte at the fancy steakhouse to save money. So a la carte means on the card. So that's very interesting when you think about, I just want that one individual thing. I would like it a la carte. I would like that one thing. I would like it a la carte. So thanks to our French brethren for allowing us to use that phrase in our language. Number 6, I found this one very interesting, probably because I've done this a lot. Entrepreneur. That's a French word as well. And it's from the French word for undertaker or one who takes risks in business. Now, in our language, undertaker is also the person that handles the last, the final, good Lord, what's the matter with me? Handles the final details for someone that's passed on, right? The undertakers who takes care of dead people after they pass on. They handle the funeral arrangements. They make the final arrangements. But in this instance, it means to undertake or to take risks in business. Sarah's entrepreneurial spirit led her to open a successful bakery in her hometown. And if it doesn't work out, hopefully she's not going to go meet the undertaker. Hopefully Sarah does well. Go get him, Sarah. So that's what we're hoping for. But we found that one interesting for the dual meaning of the word undertaker in our language. Okay, so number 7 is safari. Safari is from the Swahili language. And in Swahili, safari means journey. I've always dreamed of going on a safari in Africa to see elephants and lions. So safari means journey. Not necessarily, in my mind, and I would bet in most people's mind, safari generally conjures up pictures of animals and seeing animals. And even in the example that was spit out, it references seeing elephants and lions, seeing animals. But the word safari in Swahili, where we get the word safari from, actually means journey. So, interesting little tidbit. Okay, number 8, doppelganger. People say I have a doppelganger who works at the grocery store down the street. Doppelganger is German, and it literally means double walker or lookalike in German folklore. Separate from twin, doppelganger is someone you're not related to that looks almost exactly like you. My wife and I lived at a place when we first moved to Cleveland, and there was a woman that looked exactly like her mom, my mother-in-law. I literally was going to go say, "Hey, what are you doing here?" The first time I saw her at the place we lived, I couldn't believe it. She looked exactly like her. She was my mother-in-law's doppelganger. So, German word, double walker. Put it in the books. Okay, number 9, sushi. Sushi refers to vinegared rice paired with raw fish or other toppings. It's a Japanese word that specifically talks about vinegared rice and raw fish paired with other toppings. So you can have it. I'm not a sushi guy. I always say I don't eat food that I can use to catch other food. It's not what I do. So if you can put it on a hook and catch more fish, I don't want to eat it. I like my fish cooked all the way through. Thank you very much. But my wife likes sushi. One of my sons really likes sushi. It's all right if that's your thing. Not my thing. You can have it. More for you. I'll be over here eating a steak. That's more my pace. But Japanese word, vinegared rice paired with raw fish, other toppings. Next, gorilla. Now this is the Guerrilla spelling, not the I went to the zoo and saw the gorilla, Gorilla. So the Spanish word, Guerrilla, gorilla, means little war. So it was first used during Spain's resistance against Napoleon. but gorilla means little war. And so gorilla has a couple of different meanings in our language. One is if you hire a gorilla, it's a mercenary. It's someone that will fight for money. If you pay them, they will fight for your cause. The second, which is how we used it in this anecdote, the historian discussed guerrilla tactics used in modern conflicts. So guerrilla tactics are the opposite of what you picture when you think about thousands of troops lined up and cannons and artillery and cavalry and archers and all that stuff. Guerrilla warfare is, hey, there's 3 guys up on the ridge and they're taking shots at people as they ride through this little zone. So that's what guerrilla means, little war in Spanish. So thought that one was pretty cool. Okay, so number 11 is fiesta. And I think most of us know this one, but fiesta literally means party or celebration in Spanish. So the neighborhood fiesta had music, dancing, and incredible street tacos. Now, maybe it's just me. Maybe I think about it differently than other people. But if I hear the word fiesta, that sounds more exciting to me than going to a party. Do you want to go to a fiesta? Goddamn right I want to go to a fiesta. What's going on over there? Want to go to a party? I don't know. I'm kind of busy. So I like the word fiesta. In my mind, conjures up a livelier time, a more fun time, and a more exciting time. So if you can use fiesta, maybe it's a branding thing to get more people to come to your child's 4th fiesta. So something to think about. But Spanish word translates to part of your celebration. Sounds much more exciting than part of your celebration, at least to us. So there you go. Number 12, cliché. Cliché is a French word derived from printing terminology, meaning a phrase overused to the point of dullness. So I think we know a lot of people who speak in cliches or use the same things over and over again or take the same approach over and over again. The rom-com used so many cliches like the airport chase scene. I've watched movies before, like, 10 minutes. Let me guess, she winds up with him. Let me guess, blah, whatever, right? It's a cliche. It's so overused that it's so dry that there's no surprise to it whatsoever. Printing terminology, French word from printing terminology, overused to the point of dullness. Okay. So cliche. All right. Then from our friends that speak Yiddish, we get the word schmooze. And that's from the Yiddish. So schmooze in our language is schmooze. Schmooze. From the Yiddish, Yiddish, which is shmues, which means to chat or gossip. So chat we got, gossip was new to us. We didn't know that it meant gossip. Schmoozing to us is trying to create small talk and get in closer to someone so you can make your pitch, get to know them better, or strategically kind of strengthen a relationship. Gossip was new to us. Networking events are all about schmoozing with the right people. So thanks to the folks that spoke Yiddish for giving us that one, because in our mind, schmoozing conjures up exactly what it describes here, which is, hey, you got to rub elbows with and or click glasses with the right people at these events if you want to get somewhere. So I found that one interesting. Karate. So you might call it karate. We like to say karate. Funny story from our past. There was, we lived in a different place at a different time, and we were coaching something, and the coach of the other team also was a karate instructor. And he came over and started arguing with me in particular, because I was the head coach of the team. And so he was very aggressive, which is the opposite of what I typically see from most karate instructors. Maybe he was a Cobra Kai guy. Maybe he was a sweep the leg, win at all costs, take no prisoners. I don't know. He wound up being a nice guy. I never had a problem with him other than this one time. And so he was getting real vocal and trying to get big in front of me. And for those that know me, that's just not a good approach with me. I'm very non-reactive to it. I don't back away. I don't back down. I don't take the bait. You're not going to goad me into a fight. If we're going to fight, we're going to fight. That's fine. But you're not going to goad me into it. If it looks like there's no way out of it, then it's time to throw and I'm good. But generally, I try to back down and de-escalate, right? That's the goal. De-escalate. We can solve this other ways and with our fists. Because if it gets to fists, it's not usually going to go well for you. He was being aggressive. And my assistant coach, who I knew really well, was a funny guy. After he walked away, he came up behind me and said real quietly, hey, he knows you can't do karate when you're asleep. That's why he walked away. I'll never forget it. It was so funny. But the word karate means empty hand. So karate is learning unarmed combat techniques, which we thought was pretty interesting. We did not know that. So karate, or karate, however you pronounce it, empty hand. That's referring to unarmed combat techniques. How can you fight when you don't have a weapon? So pretty interesting, at least us it was. My niece just earned her black belt in karate. She is so proud. And you don't want to mess with her niece. Or, yeah, because, look, she's a black belt now. She's not a person to toy with. So, anyhow, number 15, cha-cha. So, cha-cha is a Spanish word for a dance, a style of dance that originated in Cuba. And it was inspired by the sound of the dancers' shoes as they danced. So, at the wedding, everyone hit the dance floor for a lively cha-cha. And it's a higher paced dance. So, we thought that one was pretty cool, too. But there you have it, guys. There are phrases that we use a lot that come from all over the world that we find it very interesting to understand etymology, or how words are developed, or what the word origin stories are. And you can learn a lot from that, at least from our perspective. Plus, it gives you an idea of how much other culture you are exposed to that you don't really think about on a day-to-day basis. So that's the episode for today, guys. We're very excited because we've got several episodes with interviews coming up. Another one's going to air this week, and then we're doing more interviews later on that will air. We're very excited about those. But for now, don't forget to head over to our website. James puts it up over here every day, saltygingertalk.com. You can find all of our podcast episodes available on our website. We got links to all of our social media accounts, including TikTok, which is back up now. And we also do a newsletter that we publish every weekday. We think it'd be a good way for you to start the day off. It's a quick 5-minute read. We pick 2 or 3 stories. We're a little funny, but we try to break down what's actually behind the story, not the story itself, but kind of what's behind it. What are they trying to get at? What are they not saying that they should be saying? And we get a little sarcastic. We tell some jokes, and it's a quick 5-minute read. Good way to start your day off and stay informed, and maybe put you in a good mood before you get out there and start facing the world. So, also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on our channel on whatever platform you consume it on. It's super helpful for us if you're able to do that. We really appreciate it, and we really appreciate you checking out the channel. Don't forget to come back and check out our episodes with our interviews, because several of those are coming up in the next week or so. So, thanks a lot, guys. Everybody have a great week. This episode will air on a Monday. It's super cold in a lot of areas of the country, so stay safe, because despite what all the climate people tell you, cold weather kills way more people than hot weather in every area of the world, including hot areas of the world. So it's dangerous when it's cold like this. Take care of yourselves. We want everybody safe and healthy, and we will see you next time.